SS Lieutenant Colonel Joachim Peiper, the commander of the 1st SS Panzer Regiment, played a pivotal role in Dietrich's defensive success. A controversial figure, most infamously known for his involvement in the Normandy massacre during the Battle of the Bulge, Gullachsen argues that Peiper achieved his most impressive military accomplishment of his career during these crucial 5 days. The work begins with a detailed background that explains the German way of war in Normandy during summer 1944. Gullachsen demonstrates that the Second British Army faced an opponent of variable quality and capabilities that nonetheless was a military effective force still capable of inflicting grievous losses. He documents the many strengths and weaknesses of the defending German forces, concluding that they had few options but to be as extremely militarily efficient and effective as possible in matters they could control, and tried to attrit the Allies to the negotiating table. Subsequent chapters provide detailed overviews of the 1st SS Panzerkorps organization, structure, deployment, command personalities, and operational procedures on the eve of Operation Goodwood. Contrary to German doctrine, overwhelming Allied superiority compelled Dietrich to forward deploy much of his armour to backstop his front-line infantry that were incapable of resisting superior Allied firepower without armoured support. The bulk of the book then presents the most detailed examination of the Corps' defence against Operations Goodwood and Atlantic between the 18th and the 22nd of July ever written. The result is a definitive tactical operational study of the 1st SS Panzerkorps' determined defence of the high ground south of Caen during those crucial late July days. Bloody Verrieres is therefore a must-read for anyone interested in the Normandy campaign, the German Army, the Waffen-SS, the German way of war, and World War II. Russell A. Hart, Ph.D., Professor of History, Hawaii Pacific University. Introduction. The fighting east of the Orne, the 18th of July to the 3rd of August 1944. It can be argued that Allied armies in Normandy very rarely met the Germans on equal terms on the battlefield. Allied air and artillery superiority, and the rate at which new combat units and resources were delivered into the bridgehead, made this scenario virtually impossible. Operating within a disintegrating logistical and transport network, and facing ongoing resistance from the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, OKW, High Command of the German Armed Forces, Supreme Command on utilization of available reserves, German generals faced a challenging command environment in July 1944. Multiple factors made moving resources to and around the front increasingly difficult, and the ability to quickly match the Allies in sheer combat power in time to save a crisis situation was limited. Commanders in France were forced to make critical decisions on where and how to concentrate their most powerful forces, and to attempt the best they could with these ever-shrinking resources to defeat Allied attacks. Due to the rapidly increasing combat power of the Allies, the obvious danger to the German front in Normandy by midsummer was deploying its major resources in the wrong spot. If this occurred, forces could not be rapidly shifted from one section of the front to another. An even greater danger was the very real possibility that multiple major Allied efforts could be made simultaneously. By mid-July, there were not enough German forces or resources to successfully meet 2 major onslaughts, and the ability to move them quickly to a threatened area of the front was limited. This second scenario was exactly what occurred in late July 1944, and thus decided the military campaign in Normandy. By late July 1944, the cumulative effects of gradual attrition during June and early July led to a complete collapse of the western Normandy defences, allowing the U.S. 7th Corps to achieve a decisive breakthrough on the 27th of July. This breakthrough, part of the larger U.S. Operation Cobra, marked the beginning of the end for German forces in France. The conditions on the German 7th Army front in the west facing the U.S. Army stood in stark contrast to those present south of Caen in July 1944. There